torn lies. He turned my dreams into his trophy, but I tore down his lies and built my own empire. At a vibrant April 2026 art gallery opening in Queens, Maya Quinn, 27, stood in a paint-splattered smock as my brother, Lucas Reed, flicked a dime at me, sneering, "Tip for the starving artist." The crowd at Starlight Studio gasped, eyes locked on us. I forced a grin, muttering, "Thanks, Lucas," because I'd learned to bury the hurt to avoid a scene. If you've ever been diminished by family, share your city below and hit subscribe. You won't believe what I did next. 8 months ago, my grandfather, Arthur, called, his voice heavy with pride he wouldn't admit. His gallery, Starlight Studio, was faltering without its curator. "Maya, just a weekend?" he'd asked. A weekend became every sunrise, because how could I leave the man who raised me when my parents poured everything into Lucas's finance career? The gallery, a warm haven on Astoria Boulevard, was Arthur's soul. Opened in 1978 with his late wife, Lila. By 1984, they had 8 locations. After Lila's death, Arthur sold all but this one, where they'd sketched their first dreams. At 4:30 each morning, I'd unlock the studio, arrange canvases, and morph from Maya, the rising illustrator, into Arthur's assistant, framing art for clients with grander lives. Regulars knew me. Ms. Delgado, abstract enthusiast, always asked about Arthur's health. Detective Vega, bought sketches, tipped well. Then there was Lucas, 33, hedge fund star, striding in with a Rolex and a smirk that cut deeper than his words. That morning, Lucas swaggered in at 8 o'clock, declaring, "Still doodling, Maya?" His voice echoed through the gallery. I reached for his usual, a charcoal sketch he'd mock but buy. $1.50, I said. He tossed a $100 bill, then swapped it for exact change plus a dime. "For your hobby," he said, loud enough for all to hear. Silence fell. Ms. Delgado winced. Vega raised an eyebrow. I smiled. "Enjoy your day," because confronting him would wound Arthur, fragile at 79. In our shared loft, I found Arthur's old ledger behind art supplies, a $5 million trust from Lila's investments, hidden from everyone, including Lucas. My own past was buried too. My sketchbooks, client contracts, dreams of my own exhibit. Lucas's jabs mirrored years of control. Once, at a family brunch, my portfolio outshone his pitch, and he'd snapped, "Stay in your lane, Maya." I'd shrunk, thinking it was loyalty. Now it was shackles. That night, I cracked Lucas's tablet, left open on the counter. Records showed $250,000 drained from Arthur's trust over 18 months. Emails to his colleague, Tara, schemed to manage Arthur's assets by proving him unfit. My blood boiled. He wasn't just mocking me, he was robbing Arthur's legacy. A message from my friend Nora pinged. "Your 25% stake in my art collective? Worth $8 million now. Rejoin us." I called my attorney, Elise Vorn, who said, "Collect evidence. We'll end him." I recorded Lucas's next visit, his smug, "Maya, you're wasting your talent here." I saved bank records, emails. Elise found his former partner, Jude, who'd been coerced into a bad deal. "He's a shark," Jude warned. "Escape now." The gallery's summer showcase was my stage. Lucas demanded I wear a plain smock. I chose a vibrant teal jumpsuit, funded by my trust. At Starlight, I mingled, whispering to Vega's partner, "Lucas calls me a failure, but I co-own an art collective." Rumors spread. At the counter, Lucas scoffed, "Maya's my charity case. Keeps her busy." I retorted, "Odd. You begged me to stay quiet so you could shine." Vega grinned. As Lucas unveiled a new exhibit, I signaled Elise. He boasted, "Maya's my apprentice. Follows my lead." I stood, voice clear. "Actually, I'm launching Starlight Studios' new wing. We've signed Vega's community center and others you fumbled, Lucas." The room buzzed. "You siphoned $250,000 from Arthur's trust to control it." I flashed a transaction record. "It's over." Elise's process server handed him legal papers, my break from his grip. The crowd roared. Lucas stumbled. I strode out head high. Months later, in my new studio, Nora toasted, "To Maya, unbreakable." My trust was safe, starlight soared, and Lucas's texts, regrets, excuses, went ignored. My triumph wasn't his ruin. It was my rebirth, a spark he'd never extinguish.